17 of Season 2 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater. Today I am reviewing the national tour of Mean Girls, currently making a run through New England and eastern Canada before heading to the West Coast and then down to Florida. It is directed and choreographed by Nicholaw, with music by Jeff Richmond, lyrics by Nell Benjamin, and book by Tina Fey, based on the 2004 Paramount Pictures film of the same name, for which Tina Fey also wrote the screenplay. There are many film-to-stage musical adaptations, and most of them are at best decent. Ones like Tootsie and Mrs. Doubtfire and Mr. Saturday Night are enjoyable, good, but not great, while ones like Beetlejuice and American in Paris and Groundhog Day are disappointing to just plain bad. Even Disney's success rate is about 50%. For every Lion King and Frozen, there's a Tarzan and Little Mermaid. Mean Girls, though, is that rare adaptation that gets it right. I had such a long track record of disappointment that when I saw this show on Broadway, I was delightfully surprised that I enjoyed it so much. I suspect that Tina Fey's involvement helped maintain the integrity of the show's story of Katie Heron, played by English Bernhardt, a child of two biologists and raised in Kenya who moves to Chicago, where she enters the public school system for the first time, and the clique social strata that she has to learn and navigate. Her naivete gets her entangled in a revenge plot by her new friends Janice Sarkeesian, played by Lindsay Heather Pierce, and Damien Hubbard, played by Eric Huffman. They convince her to infiltrate the highest-tier social group called the Plastics, a trio of privileged girls who, led by the diabolical Regina George, played by Nadina Hassan, maltreat the rest of the student population. The deeper Cody gets involved, the more she evolves, becoming more and more like Regina herself. Much of Fey's intelligent and witty storytelling that was found in the movie transferred to the stage adaptation, which I think is why I enjoyed it so much. Though a musical comedy, Mean Girls carries with it quite a few prescient themes. There is the almost caste system of the high school social construct. Katie describes it as a food chain, with Regina being the apex predator. In the midst of the evolving world of social media and its penchant for being a toxic environment and the negative influence it can have on teens throughout lies, gossip, and cyberbullying. Then there's Katie's willingness to change who she is in order to fit in with preferred social dynamics, creating issues of lost identity. This, in particular, is best expressed in what I think is the most important song of the show, What's Wrong With Me, sung by Jasmine Rogers as the wealthy but emotionally lost Gretchen. Rogers is fantastic with the number, and she expresses how she tries so hard to be accepted by Regina by doing everything Regina wants of her, yet still feels empty, devoid of any concept of who she is. This reinforces another theme of Mean Girls, which is the territorial and competitive nature between women who, in the show, do everything they can to tear each other down in order to display their dominance. There's a plethora of messages, especially involving female empowerment, to be found in Mean Girls, which is great. There is one song that I can't get too involved in without spoiling a major plot point. It's Janice's song, I'd Rather Be Me. Though I appreciate the song's message of embracing who you are, I think the way she gets there is a bit underhanded. It's a character growth point that is intended to feel inspirational, but at the same time I'm thinking, great, I'm glad you're making this discovery for yourself, but you are still partially responsible for the mess that everyone is in right now. Yes, everyone treated you like crap, but that doesn't excuse you from your actions. And the song, I find, doesn't reinforce any consequence for her actions, particularly at the top of the show. If you saw my review of Dear Evan Hansen, it's similar how I felt about the Act 1 finale to that show. It's a little manipulative. This is no reflection on Lindsay Heather Pierce, who performs the role of Janice wonderfully with an almost devilish glee. This is a critique of the book, not a negative one of her. Aside from that one flaw, I think Mean Girls is an excellent show. The current touring cast is great. Bernhardt is an infectiously delightful Katie. Morgan Ashley Bryant is an adorable dim Karen Smith. Nadina Hassan struts around like the queen she believes she deserves to be, always drawing the eye of the audience, even when she's just sitting in the bleachers in the school gym. Adante Carter is charming as the would-be love interest of Katie's, Aaron Samuels, and the second act opening song, Stop, where Damien and other students try to convince Katie to stop becoming so reliant on social acceptance and becoming her own apex predator and just be herself, is still one of my favorite numbers. It's Huffman's shining moment in the show, and he makes the most of it. The design of the show is deceptively complex. It doesn't look that way, but Finn Ross and Adam Young's video design with Scott Pask's set design dominates the stage. Every backdrop surface is a video wall, and it works seamlessly. I love the concept of pages of Regina's burn book, her collection of malicious gossip and lies about other students contained in a scrapbook, being on display on the walls during the pre-show to get the audience engaged with what's to come. So when Mean Girls comes to your town, I encourage you to see it. It offers a strong message of finding individuality while also learning to respect your fellow peers and work as a unified group and building each other up. And it's a blast of a good time. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you're interested in seeing Mean Girls, I will leave a link in the description below where you can see what stops they'll be making soon and get tickets. If you'd like to support my channel, please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons and ding the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Iverton Playhouse's production of The Great Gatsby, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you at the theater.